An extremely tall, exceptionally strong, and incredibly old skeleton was unearthed in the desert. But what shocked archaeologists the most about this 8-foot-tall monster was not what they found. It was what they didn't find. Join us today as we share with you the details of this shocking discovery that has sent shockwaves across the scientific community. 7,000-year-old giant skeleton in the desert. Deep in the heart of a remote desert where the sun beats down relentlessly and sand dunes stretch as far as the eye can see, an extraordinary discovery has just been made by a team of archaeologists. They were excavating the site in search of ancient artifacts when suddenly their shovels hit something hard. At first they thought it might be a boulder or some other natural formation. But as they carefully brushed away the sand, they uncovered something that left them stunned. It was a skeleton, but not just any skeleton. This one was gigantic. The skeleton was found in a crouched position, folded in on itself, as if the person had been sitting. The team carefully began to unearth the bones, revealing a body that seemed almost alien-like in its proportions. The skull was large and elongated, with a pronounced sagittal crest that ran along the top of the head. The jaw was massive and the teeth were sharp and pointed, more reminiscent of a carnivorous animal than a human being. But as they continued to excavate, they realized that they had stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. The skeleton was unlike anything they had ever seen before. The bones were incredibly dense, suggesting a level of muscular strength that was off the charts. The rib cage was unusually thick, the limbs were impossibly long, and the fingers were surprisingly delicate. It was as though the skeleton belonged to a creature from a bygone era, a relic of a time when humans were much larger and more powerful than they are today. As the team leader carefully brushed away the last of the sand, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. The skeleton was over 8 feet tall, nearly twice the height of an average man. He knew that he had just uncovered something truly special. Something that would change the course of history forever.
How old is the skeleton?
To understand the significance of this discovery, we need to look at the age of the skeleton. It turns out that this giant is not only abnormally tall, but also incredibly old. Carbon dating techniques have revealed that the skeleton is over 7,000 years old. This means that it predates the Egyptian pyramids by several thousand years and challenges everything we know about human history. The fact that such a skeleton could be so well preserved in the desert sands is nothing short of miraculous, and it raises all sorts of questions about the origins of mankind. Where did these giants come from? What happened to them? And why are there no other skeletons like this one? These are just a few of the many questions that scientists are struggling to answer. But one thing is clear: this is not just a skeleton, it's a mystery. The first thing that stood out to the archaeologists was the unusual size of the skeleton. At over 8 feet tall, it was far larger than any human remains found in the area. The team measured the bones and estimated that the individual was around 8.2 feet tall, which is nearly twice the height of an average male. The skeleton's height suggested that its owner was incredibly strong, and the density and structure of the bones indicated that this was no ordinary giant. This individual was a true behemoth. But the skeleton wasn't the only thing that puzzled the archaeologists. They also discovered a number of strange and mysterious artifacts buried near the remains. Among these were tools made of a strange black stone that had not been used by humans in the region for thousands of years. There were also ornaments and carvings depicting strange and unfamiliar symbols. All of these discoveries suggested that the giant may have belonged to a lost tribe or civilization that had lived in the area long before recorded history, or perhaps the giant was a member of a completely unknown species of early hominid. The most perplexing feature of the skeleton was its skull. The skull showed signs of cranial elongation, meaning that the head had been deliberately shaped into its elongated form. This was not uncommon among ancient cultures, as cranial deformation was often seen as a sign of beauty or a way to set oneself apart from others. However, the fact that the skull had been so well preserved in the desert sands allowed the archaeologists to get a closer look at this strange practice. They noticed that the cranial deformation was not uniform and that the shape of the skull was irregular, suggesting that it had been deformed intentionally and unevenly. This led the team to speculate that the skull may have been misshapen due to a genetic mutation or some other unknown factor. As the team continued to investigate the site, they uncovered more and more evidence that pointed to the existence of a lost civilization. They found structures made of huge stones that had been expertly carved and fitted together, as well as tools and weapons that were unlike anything else they had seen. The team was baffled, and they knew that they had stumbled upon something truly special. The discovery of the giant skeleton in the desert has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Some scientists have argued that the skeleton could be a rare case of gigantism, while others believe it's evidence of a lost race of giants that once roamed the earth. The debate is still ongoing, but one thing is certain. The discovery of this skeleton has challenged our understanding of human history and raised all sorts of new questions about the origins of mankind. But the discovery doesn't end there. In fact, it's just the beginning. As the team continued to excavate the site, they uncovered more and more evidence that pointed to the existence of a lost civilization. They found structures made of huge stones that had been expertly carved and fitted together, as well as tools and weapons that were unlike anything else they had seen. The team was baffled, and they knew that they had stumbled upon something truly special. The discovery of the giant skeleton in the desert has been shrouded in controversy since it was first announced to the world. Some believe that the mainstream media and scientific institutions are trying to cover up the discovery and that the skeleton has been moved or hidden from public view. This conspiracy theory is fueled by the fact that there have been very few official reports on the discovery, and no physical evidence has been made available to the public. Some even claim that the skeleton was never real at all, but rather a hoax perpetrated by those who wanted to make a name for themselves. However, despite the conspiracy theories, there is still hope that one day the truth behind the discovery will be revealed. After all, the skeleton was found in one of the most remote areas of the desert, making it very unlikely that anyone would have tampered with the site. Plus, the carbon dating results clearly indicate that the skeleton is thousands of years old. So what really happened to the giant skeleton? Is it a hoax, or is there a government cover-up underway? We may never know for sure, but the mystery only adds to the intrigue surrounding this incredible find. This story is great for visual content creators looking to create a scary video. You can use it to create a cinematic reenactment, add CGI of the skeleton, interview experts to discuss the possibility of ancient giants, or use it as the basis for a narrated storytelling video. The possibilities are really endless. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And if you have a video idea you want to share with us, then drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.